Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brownstone. I'm your host, Dr. Michele, and you're listening to Numbers Don't Lie. We learn to get out your feelings so you can make the best decisions for yourself, your family, and your business. Well, I have the pleasure of talking to someone. She is no stranger to the Brownstone. She's actually a contributing writer. So if you not subscribe to Brownstone Living Magazine, you might not know who she is. But if you're a reader, you have seen her. You've heard about her commitment to helping women achieve their health and fitness goals. And health and fitness goals does not look one way. And I love that about what she does. She has a book that's come out, and we're going to talk about not just the fitness stuff. We're going to actually talk about the stuff that most business owners need to have regular conversations and regularly monitor. We're going to talk about like customer like attributes or the avatar, because it can change whether you know it or not. So this conversation spirit like it just kind of happen organically, and she's like, yeah, I have two now. I'm like, what? Tell me more about, you have to come tell my audience about this. So this is what we're going to talk about today. So welcome to the Numbers Don't Lie stage, Krystal Taylor.
Hey, how are you?
Hey there, Krystal. You always give me like this beautiful natural Nubian queen whenever I see
you. Thank you. I try. I try. That's what I say. You gonna know I'm blackity black 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 when you deal with me.
Period. Look at this bliggly black hair I got right now. Okay.
Look, I'm here for it. I love it.
So, Krystal, for those that don't know you, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, so I am Krystal Taylor, the owner of Fitness is Not a Game. My specialty is helping women over 40 lose weight without dieting or without exercising for more than 30 minutes at a time, because most people don't have time for any of that. But then I also have corporate wellness programs, so I curate programs for businesses as well.
See, didn't I tell y'all? So if you have fitness goals, weight loss goals, nutrition goals, let me tell you, y'all need to plug on the Krystal. Krystal, before we get too far, for those that's going to like trail off, because you know
Mhm.
everybody's not going to listen for the, it's just 30 minutes too. I got 30 minutes too. But
Look,
they may not be able to stick around. Could you go ahead and tell them where to find you?
yes, I can be found everywhere. Fitness is not a game. So that's FitnessIsNotagame. And I always say the old folk socials. So that's YouTube, TikTok, IG, Facebook. If you're looking on LinkedIn, I am Krystal with a K. So that's Krystal Taylor.
Awesome. So they shall find Krystal. If you have those fitness goals, we all should have some type of goals, even if it's just
Absolutely.
maintaining, you
Absolutely.
know? So, okay.
Absolutely.
So we came here because you were talking about how your avatar, like, hey, I have two. Could you tell us, how did you even come to know that?
Yeah. So the interesting thing is when I first decided to become a health and fitness coach, I just knew I was going to be working with women just like me. That was my thought. At the time I was in my 30s. So I was like, oh, it'd be women in their 30s and 40s who want to go hard, boot camp workouts, da 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 da. But it turns out the more that I just naturally spoke about what I didn't realize was my heart with how I looked at health and fitness, that wasn't who was coming to me. Now I have the aunties coming who are 60 and 70 years old. And so my avatar went from being a 44-year-old woman named Callie to a 63-year-old woman named Miss Etta May, because Miss Etta May needs to get off these medications. Miss Etta May just wants to live longer. Miss Etta May wants to feel stronger. It's more about the health. So, and I had to ask, how did y'all find me and why? And it was because I spoke so much about the healthy part of fitness as opposed to just weight loss. We can do that too. But I want people to live. I don't want people to die trying to be skinny. Come on now.
Right.
That's what I say. I don't want to be skinny and dead. No. And there are very unhealthy skinny people.
Yeah.
They overlook that. But then I realized that I also have Callie is starting to creep back in, because they're hearing like, wait a minute, you do 30-minute workouts? Wait a minute. I don't need equipment. I am so busy between running back and forth, between dropping the kids off work, my my own social activities, I need somebody who understands. And
Mm-hmm.
especially this phase, Callie is perimenopausal, and that's been a lot of conversation I've had lately. So now Callie is hearing me like, wait a minute, girl, wait. I didn't know you had that too. So that's where I realized that I have Callie coming in. Miss Edame is still strong, but Callie is really coming in too. And the great thing about it is that Callie and Miss Edame get along so well that I love it. In my programs, I see both of them, and it is just a great, I won't say marriage, I would say a great family
Yeah.
type of thing where there's that respect for the aunties, but the aunties also respect the nieces too and just help each other. So it's awesome.
I
Yeah.
love that. And listener, I hope you caught that because you said as a passing point, you said,
Mhm.
"Hey, how did you find me?" Like you
Mhm.
started asking those questions. And I think a lot of times when people hear me talk about data, they automatically think just numbers. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a part of it. But I always say data is any piece of information that's going to help you make the next best decision. And understanding who these people are and how they found you is imperative. So now that you have this information, like you have Miss Edame
Mhm.
and Callie, how has that changed like your marketing approach?
So it's funny because Callie wants me to be ratchet, and I got ratchet in me. I'll be honest. I can be a little bougetto, right? However, um, I realized that I have always been able to mesh very well with my aunties and grandmas. Was very close with my grandmother. I was that type, I was really close with my ex's grandmothers. Like me and the mothers had great relationships too, but it was something about the grandmothers. So when it comes to marketing, I have to remember where they are. With all these social media platforms, it's so easy to say I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, but that's not where Miss Edame is. Miss Edame likes Facebook.
Yep.
She just does. She does. Callie is cool on IG, maybe on TikTok, but with that, I have to remember, if I'm trying to reach the most people who are looking for me, and that was the thing, who's looking for me? I had to go where they are. And that was something that really helped. And even, it's so interesting when you talked about data not just being numbers.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I've learned is that and I will say this for everybody, we have to stop assuming that we
Yeah.
know what our market wants and to just
Mm-hmm.
ask. Just ask. And once we start asking, as you said, it helps us to be able to create more. Because once I started realizing that Miss Edame was coming and paying attention to what they're asking you, that was
Yep.
the other thing. When I started realizing certain questions were coming up a lot, I was like, wait a minute, so this is what they're looking for. And one of the biggest changes that I made to my program that totally changed everything, I made all of my workouts low impact friendly
Mm.
because I realized Miss Edame is not trying to do burpees. She's not.
Listen, Michelle Josie don't always do burpees. Okay, that's like one of my least favorite exercises behind running.
But it was like once I made that switch and said, hey, I have low impact, people were like, wait a minute. But even Callie has jacked up. I'm Callie. The military did a doozy on my body, but it was just interesting listening to not just what I asked them, not just their answers, but paying attention to what they were asking me and then building around that. So
That was good because you pretty much answered my next question. I know I love it because it was just really around like what now that you know these people, how not only how did it influence your marketing, but your actual programming. And you just said it like, hey, I'm listening, not only to ask them, I'm listening to what they're saying, and I'm modified. I have low impact.
yep.
How long do you think you'd be able to keep Miss Edame if you didn't make that change?
Look, they were like a little challenge here and there. But
Mm-hmm.
what I know about what I do, if someone can't do, right? It's a difference between struggling with and not being able to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they can't do what I'm doing on the screen and they have to keep modifying or stopping, they start to feel defeated and then they quit. right? And my goal is to keep you going as much as I can keep you going, because that's just the goal, just to move your body. I don't even really like to use the word exercise too often. It's about movement.
Yeah.
So I had to say, okay, she just wants something that's still challenging. And this is the thing. I loved it because Callie sees that, yeah, it's low impact and we're not doing a lot of jumping, but woo child, my legs are still burning. Woo child, I've lost 10 inches overall. Like, it still works. It's
Yeah.
just reprogramming how we look at what's needed to get to our goals.
Did you know that data-driven organizations were 19 times more profitable? 19. You heard me right. Perhaps you're asking, what is data-driven and how do I become one of those organizations? I'm so glad you asked. I want you to go take a quiz. It's a simple, quick quiz to help you assess if you are in fact one of those organizations. Head over to mogulbeginnings.com/data into dollars quiz now. That's mogulbeginnings.com. You can just go to mogulbeginnings.com and it'll show you the data into dollars quiz. Take it now. You'll see if you're on your way to 19xing your profitability. You're listening to Numbers Don't Lie on KCCR Cityscape. We hope you're enjoying the tunes and all the jams. Make sure you visit our website over at brownstoneworldwide.com to learn about all things Brownstone. You can check out Brownstone Living Magazine and all the great things that we have on the website, as well as the shop. You just got to head over to the website, brownstoneworldwide.com.
Like, girl, get a cup. Like, you say, get a cup. I can't do it. I don't want to do it.
That is so funny. Y'all, sorry, y'all came in on our banter, but this was so funny. We're talking about water intake and how important it is. Like, our bodies are made up of water, and it's crazy how we just like, I don't like water. I'm like, how do you not like water? How do you not like water?
I don't understand it. They're like, it doesn't taste like nothing. It's delicious. It's so refreshing. If you needed to, you can infuse your water, but you'll be surprised. So I love a good salad too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though I guess that's people like, of course you do. You're a health and fitness coach. Don't do that, because I also love French fries and all that stuff too. But I do love a good salad. But it cracks me up because in the salad, I feel like the cucumbers, that polar stepchild that just come along because it's supposed to, it really doesn't add a lot to the salad. But you sort of feel like you got to have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, put it in some water if you want to. It takes over. I was so surprised the first time I put cucumber in my water. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, this is so doggone amazing. So it's amazing what you can put in the water and just get the essence of it. Now, don't you go tell nobody, right? The essence. Don't you tell nobody that Coach Krystal said it's going to taste like juice. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Because she didn't say that.
I didn't say that. But it does add flavor. That's one of my favorite things to do, especially in the warmer months.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just make a big thing of infused water, like the drink dispenser, and
Mm-hmm.
I just leave it on my counter. And that way you can add ice if you want to or not. But it's just a good way to refresh up your water. You got to drink your water. Our bodies are made up of at least 70% water, like everything. Your eyes, your skin, your hair, your bones, everything is made of water. So how do you expect your body to function when you're not giving it its main ingredient?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I'm with you. You're preaching to the choir.
well, that's what I always tell people. Water is bad. You gotta drink water. Without it, I feel like water solves almost every issue. Hungry, drink
And
some water.
sleep.
If you drink some water, you're lethargic, drink some water. You have a headache, drink some water.
Real.
Drink some water. Like, you'll be surprised at how much water helps you out. That's
I
just.
believe you. And since we're talking about water, things that you put in your body, so
Mm.
research continues to support that nutrition is actually, for those that have like weight loss goals,
Mm-hmm.
nutrition is actually more important than just going and hammering out in the gym. Can you talk to us about your approach to kind of balancing health and fitness?
Oh yeah. So this is the thing. We eat all day.
All day. I like to eat.
I love to eat. I love to eat. Um, but your workout, you heard me say 30 minutes for a workout. You might do an hour, right? The rest of the day you're eating, you can't expect that 30 to 60 minutes to fix all the things, right?
I need to shout on that. You talk about it, Krystal.
I'm
I'm
just
sorry.
saying. And people think that they're like, well, I've worked out for an hour, hour and a half. What about those other 20 some hours? And we're not even going to talk about sleep. But when we're talking about food and nutrition, there has to be a balance. And you heard me say, my mother swore until the day she died that one of my first words was French fries. That's how much I love them. I
French
kid
fries are so good.
you, they are delicious.
Don't let them be a sweet potato fry.
Look, give me all the fries. Give me you know what I love the most? A tater tot. I'm like a kid. Give me a tater tot and I am happy. But, and that's the thing, people think that carbs are your enemy. Okay, I'm going to say something. And I'm going to pull my mic closer because I need people in the back to hear me. Carbs. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I'm not, there's no way to dance around this. Carbs, cheese, all dairy, meat, none of those things are making you gain weight. Removing those things will not make you lose weight. Let's be clear on that. If you don't believe me, go look at the overweight vegans and vegetarians. It's about your relationship with food, how you eat it, how frequently you eat it. In my household, I am the only lady in the house of men. Help me, please. We eat pizza every Friday. Please send help. I'm saying it, y'all. But it's not an issue. You know, I don't believe in cheat days, cheat meals, because at the end of the day, whenever you tell yourself you're cheating in any type of way, you still feel like you're doing something wrong, as opposed to just accepting that this is balance. If it's one day, like you're calling it a cheat day, that's 1 out of 7 days. How are you cheating? If you're doing a cheat meal, that is 1 out of 21 meals. How is that a cheat? That is a balance. It's because at the end of the day, it's something that you like.
Something you like.
It is something that you like. We are on this earth to enjoy ourselves, live, laugh, and love. So why are we going to suffer? And that's part of the reason why a lot of people struggle with health and fitness, because they are under the impression that they have to struggle in order to look a certain way or to weigh a certain number, when you don't have to struggle or restrict yourself, but you do have to be honest about how those foods impact your body, whether it's how you feel and or how you look, right? So it's a matter of that. People say, well, Krystal, what's the balance? Like, how do I determine? I'd like to give it like an 80-20. 80% focus, 20% have a good old time. And if you're trying to understand which food should be in the 80 and which should be in the 20, ask yourself this. If I was to only eat or only drink, because people overlook how many calories they drink too.
That's real. That's why water is bae.
Look, if I was to only eat this one food, that's it, for 3 days, how would my body feel? And if you know it will have your stomach sour, you feel lethargic, you know, clogged up, then that should be in that 20. So not that you should not have it at all, but monitor how frequently you eat it or consume it. The same thing with your drinks. If you didn't drink anything else but the way you make your coffee or the way you order your juices, how would you feel afterwards? Ask yourself that. But don't restrict yourself. Should I have a beer club. I'm a beer drinker. I drink wine. We eat pizza. It's all about balance, though. It really is about balance.
I love that. So Miss Etta Mae and Cali Girl, y'all found your girl in Krystal Taylor, because that you're so right. Like, a lot of what we do, it really is mindset. Because I used to be in the finance world, and that was a big thing. Like, people feel restricted, they don't want to do it. So I love your approach to fitness. I love your approach to how you talk about nutrition, because it's too many gurus that made it bad for us. Like, we got to starve ourselves. So you got people saying, I'm fasting, I'm trying this, I'm trying that, I'm not losing any weight. I see why now.
Can we talk about that really quick? And let's drink some water. I know you got your water too. So I said, my clients call me the water bully. It's so interesting because I believe in triggers for my people who struggle with drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
People think triggers are a bad thing. Triggers can be good.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I have my clients, I don't want to say trained or programs, that sounds so harsh, but we trigger each other. So if they see me drink water, they naturally drink water. If I see them drink water, I naturally drink water. We help each other,
Right.
right? So that's say. But let's talk about the not eating. Dr. Michele, do you know how rich I would be if I was given $1 each time somebody said, I don't know why I can't lose weight. I only eat like once or twice a day. I don't even eat that much. I would be so rich. So rich.
Freaked us, girl.
Look, but this is the thing. That's why you're not losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
Your body is a machine. It needs to be fed to work. But when we talk about programming, we've been programmed to think that calories are bad, carbs, all that stuff are bad. Carbs are your source of energy. Without getting too medically and all that good stuff, if you don't use those carbs, then the protein has to do the work to give you energy, to strip your muscle, all that stuff, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the importance of eating. A calorie is literally a source of energy. That is the definition of it. So, how do you expect your body to move without energy? You have to give it energy, and you're only going to get it in the form of calories. So, when you aren't eating, and your body is smart,
Right.
this is the original AI. It learns you. That's why we can all go on autopilot. It learns you. But that's also why a lot of people hit plateaus. They're like, I don't know what happened. I walk 2 miles after work every day and I lost like 20 pounds. And all of a sudden I'm stuck because your body knows.
Yep.
Your body has it learned that routine. Oh, we're going to do 2 miles. So this is what's going to happen. All right, cool. Right. So it does the same thing if you don't feed it. If you're not eating, your body is meant to protect you. Your body is saying, oh, Doc is not going to eat for another 4 hours because she usually doesn't. So let me go ahead and go on sleep mode. And then you're wondering why you're tired, why you don't have energy, because your body is chilling so that it does not make you pass out. Because let me tell you this, if you don't give your body what it needs, it will take it. It
Oh, for
will
sure.
take it.
That's how my body is about sleep. If I
Look,
do not plan the proper sleep time, it's just like go back to sleep.
it will take it. So you may as well go ahead and give it. Don't give it what it asks for. So, and then the problem is that your body's on sleep mode. And then you look and say, oh, shoot, I haven't eaten all day. And why do you know you haven't eaten all day? Because now you're hungry. Not just hungry, you're hungry.
Hungry.
You're hungry. And when you're hungry, you're not like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and eat that salad. Let me go get some salmon. You will eat anything. And typically it's high fat, high calorie, but your body is on sleep mode. But somehow you expect it to burn all those calories that you just put in there. It sounds so counterproductive, but the more frequently you eat, depending on what you eat, the more frequently you eat, the higher your metabolism is going to be, because you're giving your body energy, and your body's like, oh, wait a minute, she gave me some energy, she want me to burn this, so let me move, and it's moving. Because when you eat, your body has to burn calories to just digest that, y'all. It all works together.
That's so good.
So when you're constantly feeding it calories, is giving you energy. Now you have more energy to get through your workouts, do the laundry, do all this other stuff. But you just got to keep on fueling it. You got to stop starving yourselves and expecting yourself to lose weight. It's totally counterproductive.
That's good. I know my audience definitely got more than they anticipated today, but I love it. You got to come to a space that maybe they don't always hear about fitness and nutrition and the importance of drinking water, but you heard it today. I'm an epidemiologist by training as well. So I care about all this stuff. We can go down a rabbit hole about different conditions and chronic diseases that are in our community because of the very thing that Krystal is trying to help you guys with. So, Krystal, could you tell them once again? No, before you got a book.
I do. Yes. So it's right there. The name of the book is F the Scale. Don't let a number weigh you down. And I wrote that book. That book had been sitting in my head for years.
Wow.
I am such a non-traditional coach. I tell my clients, that was funny is when I tell you I'm non-traditional, I am non-traditional. I have done everything from prescribing shots of tequila for my clients. I'm not lying. Look, look, there are three pillars to health and fitness. People worry about diet and exercise, but people forget about mindset and life that go
That's
along with
real.
it, right? So I do more coaching than I do training. Anybody can train, right? But coaching, you got to get into the people's lives. So yeah, I do that, right? It worked. She relaxed for the day and was able to get back on track the next day, right?
I get it. I prescribed a vacation when I was in the financial world, so I totally get it.
You know what? And to be more exact, I prescribed her a shot of tequila and a trashy TV show. To be honest, I was like, you need to find something mindless and ignorant and just lay down and just laugh for a little bit and get yourself back on track. But what I also do that's not traditional, I don't like for my clients to weigh themselves because that's not what matters. Too many people are worried about this number that they feel they should weigh when realistically and honestly, the scale wasn't even made for humans. It
Wow.
wasn't made for us. It was made for trade goods. If you go back and look at the hieroglyphs in Egypt, you see the scales. They're measuring. If I give you some of these, is it the same amount as if I give you? Oh, that's funny. I'm talking about Egypt and I have my scarab right here. But is it going to balance out to here? No. Okay, let me add some more stuff on here so it balances out. So we get the
Don't
same
throw my
thing.
scale out.
Good, good. So with that, the BMI that everybody knows, that wasn't even made to determine health. And it surely does not include Black and brown people. The BMI came about, it didn't even come from a doctor. It was a statistician, and you would love this. It came from a statistician.
Yeah, it's a population health measure.
He was just curious. He wanted to know what the average man in Belgium looked like. Seriously.
Wow. And it's gotten out of control.
It has
Like people feeling bad that
completely
I've been labeled obese, overweight. I was labeled as at risk when I was like a teenager, going adolescent. Yes. And that make me weight conscious very early on. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm always overweight. I've been overweight forever, and it was interesting because when you talk about how it makes you feel, when I was in the Army, there was only one time that I made weight, right? And that was when I shipped out because I would always be about 137, 140. They made me get down to 135 to ship out. Cool, great, made that weight. After that, I never made weight again. It was always like 2 or 3 pounds over. So what they would do was if you didn't make weight, they would tape you. It was called tape, and they would get a measuring tape and measure certain parts of your body to see if they were proportionate. If they were proportionate, then you would pass. And the very first time it happened, it was so embarrassing to have to sit on the side and wait to be taped, right? But then after a while, we started realizing there was a pattern. It was always the Black women who was sitting over there getting taped. So it became a joke, but then it made us bond even more because we were like, we're not going to make this way because we thick, we got density, we have curves, it's different, right? So with the book, I talk about the numbers that we should really focus on outside of that number on the scale, because that does not determine whether you're healthy or not. You can make the weight that your doctor is suggesting for you, but guess what? Your blood pressure is still too high. Guess what? Your cholesterol is off. Guess what? Your glucose is off. These are things, the numbers that we should focus on. But then outside of that, what is our mental health like?
Yeah.
How are we sleeping? What is our energy like? What is life feeling like? How do we feel when we put on our clothes?
That's good.
Because I can make the weight that the doctor wants me to weigh, and I still don't like how my clothes fit.
Yep.
The scale literally would just tell you yes or no when it comes to validating your thoughts. Most people get on that scale to say, dang, I just came back from vacation. Let me see how much damage I did. Right? Or, man, I've been killing it. In my workouts, let me see how much I lost, right? That you literally asking the scale to validate your thoughts. So
Yeah.
when you get on the scale, and if you think you've been killing it, and you get on there and the scale says yes, you're like, okay, yay. But if that
Or
scale
maybe it
says
don't.
you didn't lose nothing or you gained, now you like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me I've been doing all this stuff and I gained
Shame.
weight? But you got on the scale because you felt good and you
Yeah.
look good.
Mm-hmm.
But now that scale told you, no, baby girl, you don't look good or feel good, but you know your body is changing, right? So
Mm.
now that can cause you to either give up or push yourself even harder. Either way,
Yeah.
those are not healthy.
That's
Or you could say, let me see how much damage I did. You get on the scale like, girl, yeah, you tripping. You gained 3 pounds. And now you beat yourself up for it and go crazy hard trying to get rid of those three. Or
oh
you get on the scale and the scale say, girl, you ain't gained no weight. You actually lost a pound, but you got on there because you don't like how you look or how you feel. But that scale told you it's okay. So now you're still falling into these habits that are not good for you just because the doggone scale said you fit a number.
that's good. Y'all, y'all better connect with Krystal. Get her book. Where can they find the book?
You can find the book on Amazon. You can find the book on Amazon. Again, it is F the Scale, and F has an asterisk after it. F the Scale, don't let a number weigh you down.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Krystal, for joining me for another episode of Numbers Don't Lie. I'm your host, Dr. Michele. Make sure you plug in on All Things Brownstone. That's the network that we're streaming from right now, Brownstone Worldwide. So many great things. Go check us out. And you can find me on all things, the old and new social. Well, I think I got old social too. I ain't gonna lie. I think I got old social, all things mogul beginnings, MOGUL beginnings. Have a great rest of your day, guys. And until next time.